So welcome to Between Two Biomes with Masta Blasta, myself, I am Masta Blasta, and then my co-host Mashie. Hi Mashie.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Master. How are you? How's your
I,
Saturday?
it is Saturday. Usually we try to do these on Friday night, and I heard we upset some people. Um, Somebody didn't get their coffee in Between Two Biomes, so I guess they're gonna have to do it with their Sunday morning coffee, maybe, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think like go back to our the producer that we need to have from last episode, Steve. Steve, we should cue confession music. So there'll be some music playing where I can actually confess. We were scheduled to record this on a Friday evening, and I let real life get in the way, and at the last minute was unable to record. So my good friend here was flexible and
Oh,
nice enough to move it to today. So
we
sorry
we
for
both
those of
have
you
real
that enjoy.
lives. We both have
Yeah,
lives. We don't revolve around this, right? And
work decided to get in the way this
yeah.
week.
And is it wait, what time is it where you're at? Is it
It is 12:19 in the
okay?
afternoon.
So we ran into a little bit of challenge. So before the show, we're talking, okay, so what are you gonna drink? And he's like, it's too early. I got stuff I gotta get done.
I
So
have a golf
I
lesson today.
decided
Okay.
to take care of my buddy and
Thank you
double
very
up.
much.
So I'm doing a bourbon and a beer. What's a one bourbon, one scotch, one what is that?
One beer from George Thorogood.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's the George Thorogood.
I've
Yep,
drank
exactly.
too much of them. I can't remember the
Yep,
lyrics anymore, right?
yep. Steve, cue the music. We have the music in the
The
background.
the
Yeah,
drunk, tipsy music, right?
and I'll cue it up with like a bottle of water. That's
I was
it. I
gonna
just have
say
a
just
bottle of
maybe put
water.
a little Bailey's and some coffee for you, and maybe that would be good enough for
I
me.
have a golf lesson in 2 hours, and I would prefer not to show up to my golf lesson a little snookered.
So I have in tradition I have a Cape May IPA, which I
Very
think is
nice.
from New Jersey, right?
Yep,
And then this, because you like the small batch stuff,
I do.
I went to the local liquor store, and the liquor stores in Pennsylvania are state
I'm
controlled, which is just brutal, right?
loving this. I love where you're going. I love
So
it. I
I
know
don't get too excited. I
it.
asked the guy there, I said, I need a small batch. And he's like, I have this really small batch called Mocker's Mark.
Oh my gosh.
And later on when we start reviewing courses, you're gonna see why it must be German, right?
It
Mockers.
must be German. It's Mockers.
Mockers. Yeah, I didn't know Germans made
I didn't know
Kentucky
Germans made
bourbon.
bourbon, but
Yeah.
sure.
I actually have a friend that works for Jim Beam, which owned Maker's Mark. But did you know that Jim
Yeah.
Beam's not even an American-owned company anymore?
I did not know that.
It's owned by a company called Future Brands, which is owned by, guess what? The Japanese.
Japanese make some really good whiskey though.
Yes, they do like their
I
whiskey.
have some I have some good Japanese whiskey. Oh, that maybe I have to go on one of our episodes and pull out Japanese whiskey instead of bourbon for a change. So
Yeah, or
I have to
German,
go
or
that
the
route.
German
Or
whiskey.
German, or German. Yeah, exactly. Well, good. Well, good. Well, this is thank you for drinking for me. I appreciate and
Hey,
and
I'll
hopefully
help a
yeah,
brother out, man. Help a brother
I
out.
hope our viewers are accepting of my confession. So I will be better on my work timing next time.
Well, some of them are probably, hopefully, they'll be watching us with their coffee tomorrow, and they'll be doing a little bit of that
And they'll be doing a little yeah.
gagging when
And then
we're
we had
drinking.
yeah, and then we had some fun. We played a little foursome earlier this week. You and myself and Justin and
TJ.
TJ played a little foursome. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go on.
Yeah, I played for
Today.
real yesterday here in Pennsylvania in February.
Oh, jealous. How was it? How'd you play?
Uh, it was probably one of the rounds where I played some one like half my holes were great, half of them were horrible. Like it was seriously par 8, par
But you're
birdie 9.
but you're a COVID golfer, right? You started
Yes.
playing
Yeah.
golf during COVID.
Yeah. And
So like that's only a few years to get to the part where you're parring, and of course there's
yeah.
going to be the odd eight in there, you know?
Yeah, and I guess my problem is I hit the ball really well.
Mhm.
So if when you're a person, you're a new golfer and you can hit the ball 280 yards, when I don't know what direction it's going, it makes for some very big ups and downs
Yeah.
wherever, shanks and all that
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I hear you. Well, good. Well, hey, that sounds awesome. I'm jealous. We still have snow on the ground. It is in Colorado here. We are running in the 50s and 60s right now. A lot of snow melt happening, but I was actually talking to one of the guys at my local course yesterday, And because the snow has been on the ground here, and it's very unusual for us to have snow on the ground since before Christmas. Denver, we get snow, it warms up, it melts. We have, and then it snows a week later, and then it melts. We've had snow on the ground since before Christmas, and that's very, very rare that we have that. And it melted, then it froze, then it melted, then it froze, and it melted, then it froze, and so it's like a nice big 2-inch thick sheet of ice that's all over the courses. So I was talking to one of the guys on my local course yesterday, and they're actually starting to take tractors, the lawn equipment with some other gear on it, and trying to break it up and get it off the course because they're actually worried about something called snow mold, which is that wet, heavy, icy stuff sitting on that grass for so long that if it doesn't get dried out, they actually get a mold fungi underneath it, and it can cause them to lose some grass in the spring and summertime. So they're out there breaking it up. So really hopeful this warm weather continues and those courses get in better shape for the spring.
Yeah. Well, I was just happy to be playing in February. Period.
I'm happy for you, my friend.
All right. So let's get down to it, right? Let's get to it. So we had some courses out this week, and of course, like normal, we got slammed yesterday. I think I woke up in the morning, and the first thing I said, I sent you a message. I said, "Son of a bitch, 4 courses, and we're recording tonight that we had to get through."
Yep. And earlier in the week, it was, hey, there's only been 5 courses released. We're looking pretty good.
Great,
and then like 3 days later, it was
yay! So we have Eagles Landing. This is one we're going to take a closer look at from TJ. TJ's second course? Is that what you said?
TJ's second course. Yep.
Okay.
It is. Yep.
Highland Bark.
Highland Bark.
Why don't you just take these, because I'm just going to sit here and
you drink my bourbon for me. Highland Park. So our good friend Tech, who was on the show a couple episodes ago. So Tech Bud's got a new Highland Park club out. And then the Golf Boy has another course out.
His weekly course.
His weekly course. Yeah, with Lancaster Country Club. Run Pud Run has 2 courses out this week. We're going to go into depth in one of them, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
We debated for 20 minutes how to pronounce this. I think it's Loudon Country Club, Loudon.
Well, when you go there, Loudon, you drink your Maker's Mark.
You drink. It's a German. It must be a German club in somewhere in the U.S.
Well, no, the German club is in here. No, actually,
in here.
No, I'm sorry. No, it's the next one. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, the next one, correct. So we got Golden Hills. So Jay Pruitt, this is Jay's second course as well, if I remember correctly. Luffenham
Heath. It's if there is a UK named course, that is it, right? That's if you just gave me the name of the course, said where is that? I said, oh, that's in the UK.
If we were really good, we would have John record the name of this with his UK accent, and we just play it over top. And so every time we wanted to say it, John would just say it for us, because I can't pronounce it properly and do it justice. So Simply Me I think that's his first. I got to double check and see if this is what course number.
I think he did it. I think he did another one at least that we've reviewed. I think so many people, so many good.
There are so many right. You might. Yeah, I think you're right actually. Mount Coolum. Coolum, does that sound right?
Well, it sounds right for Australia. Yes.
Right for Australia. Yeah, if I had an Australian accent, I could say it properly.
Hey, mate, let's go shoot a couple at the Coolum.
Time. Don't do an accent. Just stay with your normal.
I'll stick my nose back in my glass and let you continue.
No, you're good. The Classic Golf Club, Scott H67, new one out, and they still keep going. They still keep releasing. Here's Run's second one, Sleepy Hollow. We'll go into depth on this one for our good friend of the show.
You have to ride a horse through there with a pumpkin, though, right?
I was afraid when I loaded it. I mean, I was it's a little winter, a little Halloween themed. No, I'm kidding. Our German course from Bare Bones.
Das Verblassen.
Das Verblassen. Yeah, this one we're going to go into depth on as well.
Yeah.
The Blue Potato. Our good friend Purple Potato. Blue Potato. This is I'm going to stop saying his course number of. This is his 4th release. But
by the way, this is 10 times funnier than me than it is to anybody else listening to this. So
Purple Potato. But this is his 4th course. But listen, he's had 4 courses in 2 weeks. Right. So, and I think he's got a new one in beta.
Yeah.
And then Stream Song Blue, the follow-up to Stream Song Red, which is the prelude to Sing Song Purple, Stream Song Purple. So we got we'll go into depth in a bunch of these courses today across the board. So why don't you start with Estancia?
Estancia, right? So a Scottsdale course, like
I should
Scottsdale,
be
the
drinking a
Mecca.
wine, like Estancia wine or something while we're
Yeah, it
reviewing
does
this.
sound fancy. That's maybe I'll just switch back to my Mocker's Mark here for this one. So Estancia out in Scottsdale, Arizona. I do like the distance
Yeah,
breakups here. Pretty solid,
yeah,
right? Getting out
yeah,
of the
pretty
par
solid.
threes. And Blue Potato. So when he first he released those 3 courses, we're like, wow, he's got 3 courses out at once. And now I'm beginning to realize why he did all these courses at the same time, because he used basically all the same biomes, vegetation, houses, and it's a very similar look and feel,
I
right?
actually think the guy is brilliant because what I think
Oh,
he did.
nothing wrong with that. Take
No.
advantage of it.
Here's what I think he did. I think he actually created one giant lidar. All these courses are actually a mile from each other. He created one lidar.
One LiDAR pack, one
One giant
biome,
lidar pack, one biome. It's actually only one entire
and did
Unity
4 different
package.
greenkeepers.
4 greenkeepers on it.
If you're not a designer, you don't realize why that's funny, but um I think again this is another great desert course, and it was funny because the guys that come over and play my indoor league, like, we don't play enough desert courses, so I actually loaded up 7 canyons for our league this
Oh, nice.
past Thursday, and
How do
they
you like
really
it?
enjoyed it. They really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. It was well.
Yeah.
It played
Good, good.
well. I think there was one minor issue with it that we found, but he didn't have a collider on something way off course because we just spray the ball everywhere, right?
Only you guys would find that.
Yeah,
That
right.
collider missing way off on the
Yeah, it was like on the road in the town or something, right?
Blue Potato's answer is just don't hit the ball over there. You don't have a problem.
Yeah, that is his answer. Um, so one thing I liked here is, and the thing is, you might not realize this if you're not a designer, but so he put the driving range on here, which is really cool.
Yep.
And so if you go here in practice mode, you can actually drop a ball there, and you could hit some balls in
On
the
the driving
driving
range.
range if you want. Blue Potato, this is just the suggestion. Like, if you're going to do this, man, put some yard markages out there. That way you can warm up on the course you're about to play. Throw some
I love
250.
that idea.
You know, uh, because and unfortunately I didn't realize this isn't until it was like too late. But like, if my guys are coming over, I'm going to drop this in practice mode and let them warm up there. It's just kind of part of the experience, right?
That's
I
cool.
think that's been one of the. I think it's been Gojo Hula Golf coach Gojo Golf. He's the one who is, I think, has been advocating for the longest time of getting this feature added where when you open
Yeah.
up a course, you can go to the driving range first,
I
right?
want that badly. I always spline and I know you do as well, I think. I always spline the driving ranges. I maybe not build them out with like all the
Yeah.
amenities,
Yeah.
but I
Well, if
always
it's
spline
if
the
it's in the
mesh.
course and in my inner
Yep.
terrain, yes, I do.
Yep. Because I'm
Um,
hoping I want the same thing. I want the I'll cue the feature of the week. I want music, Steve. I want the that's the feature. I'll echo Go Joe.
Holo,
I don't
Gojo Holo,
yeah,
right?
Gojo Holo, correct. I'll echo his sentiment. There's nothing I want more behind being able to choose what percentage of balls that go in the deep rough or lost is to fire up a course and go to the range on that course and warm up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Kapalua has one on course that I'm working on, and I would like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if we could do that.
Yep.
One thing I did like here, and this is, I'm not going to get into like the course itself, just because it is look and feel the same as the other ones, but he did a really good job here of this outer terrain. I love the path up through here, and I don't know if this was something that just happened to be in that satellite imagery, or if
Yeah.
he went out there and he tweaked it, maybe painted it a little bit more. So I kind of went out there and explored, and
It's sad.
I think it is sat. I think it is just his sat shader just worked out and was really solid for that area. And I don't even know if he even, like, some of these areas, it looks like the rocks are kind of lifted up.
Yeah.
I don't know if he,
Yeah.
but it's a good idea. If he didn't do this, if you're looking for a little bit more oomph in that outer, you could always go out there and just pick up some of these rocks and throw them up in the air a little bit more to give it a little bit more contrast, right?
That's a great idea. It gives a little more texture, a little more depth to your outer. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if he did that or
And then
not.
he threw some trees, some cacti on there.
Yep. This was the fifth hole, and as I was kind of poking around here, I just love it. Was like a great, high altitude fairway shot over
Yeah.
everything. Looked really well. Great looking desert course. Minor, this isn't even a criticism. It would be a suggestion. Would be when I looked at, I found some video. We played Seven Canyon in my golf league, and we actually were looking
Right.
at some of the. It's a beautiful, like if you look at YouTube videos, that's an amazing course. My only suggestion is when I'm watching that, there was a lot more mountains in the distance. Maybe
Mm.
take some of the prefabs, a prefab mountain or something, and drop it out there, and
Yep.
just to fill out so it doesn't look so plains out there. Because I think the course itself has a few more like mountains in the distance. Just
So Blue Potato, here's an idea, and I've done this before as someone who builds lots of mountain courses, right? You it sometimes is hard to use the same mountain assets over and over again. I mean, there's some nature manufacturer assets, some free ones, that kind of stuff. But you've got mountains right here in your terrain. So what I've actually done before is take your terrain into Photoshop, because it's just a geopic. Edit it out except for the mountain I wanted, so I got rid of the plain part and kept the mountain that I wanted. Okay. And then there is a cool app. It's on the Discord for Unity, which is a terrain to mesh converter. And so I've gone back into some of mine and created mountain prefabs that I can then mix and match on different courses. So I've got my own mountains made from
yeah.
the satellite imagery I already had, or the LiDAR package I already had. So
And you would
just a thought.
be amazed if you were to take that mountain he has right here that we're looking at, and you make a prefab out of it. You can move it over here, rotate it
Turn
like
it.
25 degrees, and it looks like a different mountain.
Absolutely.
Right.
100%.
Yep.
Yep. So just a thought, if you're looking for more mountains that aren't the ones that everybody uses, it's a great way to do it. And you've already got them in your LiDAR package.
Yep. Awesome. Good suggestion. So this is another hole, and Blue Potato. I'm loving using you as an example here of stuff you could try out. So one thing I noticed in here when I was teeing off, and it's hard to maybe it's tough to see, but so the arrows show this house right here has some good depth, and you'll see
Yep.
that it looks like a house, and the one in the distance looks really flat. Now on my simulator, it was much more exaggerated because it's blown up a lot more.
Right. Right.
But the reason for this is, so let me zoom in here to that picture. It looks like a billboard, right?
Yep.
Um, yeah, the reason is because there is, and I can't remember if this is a GSPro setting or if it's a Unity setting. I'm assuming he planted these via Unity houses.
Correct. That's my guess.
There is a shadow distance setting. And so if you adjust that, and you have to be careful because does hit your performance. And Blue Potato, I'm not necessarily saying you should change this, um, because when you zoom in to that same house, look how
The
much
shadows are there.
the shadows are there, and it looks different. Now that was a house really far in the distance, and I'm not saying Blue Potato you should change this. I want to point this out to other designers that there is a shadow distance setting.
Yep.
So if you shorten that up, or if you lengthen it up, you can get more depth in your objects, as just something to keep in mind. It's something that I see. I don't know if other people see it. Just more of a tip because this is a design show, right?
No, I think it's a great tip. I think the one thing, if I can, you go back to the first slide, just on this, yeah, one more, go back one more. 100% agree on everything you're saying. I think it's a great suggestion. I learned the hard way on shadow depths and certain stuff, and still don't probably pay enough attention to it. My only suggestion is on this one to vary the heights of the grasses a little more.
Good
This
point.
one, the grasses, if I look at this front row of grasses and look even out there, to me, it just looks like somebody with a hedge clipper came through and cut them all the
Yeah.
exact same height.
Yep.
And in the real world, you're gonna have some that are taller and some. So I would just vary, just as a designer, just a tip, vary the grasses a little bit to make it a little bit more natural. I love the colors and I love the blending of the colors. Nothing pops, which is great. Um, so that's just one suggestion as well.
Yep. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Um,
It's
this
pretty.
was the 18th. Just a
Yeah,
pretty hole. I just like to
pretty hole.
capture the pretty holes.
Yeah.
Another. I know, Mashie, you can appreciate the elevated holes, right?
Yeah. Well, and this also goes back to what you were talking about earlier. If you notice, like having the way this terrain worked out, they have mountains all the way in the view. There's no flat, empty spot, and it makes it look of like a fuller view. It's just a
Yeah.
really pretty shot. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, this does look much fuller in my opinion. Oh, and this is, I think this was 18. Um, this is an 18 right hand side, and there was a tree floating. So
Yep.
that was
Yep.
just something I wanted to show
There
you
was
there.
something else on here you didn't like.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
were
We're gonna
different
have
on this. So
let's have it out.
I didn't like that the semi showed up as like it seemed like a white path through here, but you liked it. So
So I like I do like that. I do because it is a semi, and I do like having a I do like the semi having a different feel from either the rough or the fairway. I also like if you look in front of that tree there, how there's a burned out spot in the rough because he and then it carries into the semi and it carries into the fairway.
yeah,
So I actually thought it was a really nice blending from the fairway into the rough. But I can see how up by the bunkers it looks like a white stripe, right?
yeah.
So it just
There's a hard edge
there's a
here.
bal
Yeah,
there's a balance between the blending and the hard and trying to get it right, and it's
yeah.
close, you know.
The thing is, if V4, that's not an issue, right?
That's not an and I
So
yes, full stop.
yeah, yes, V4, it's not an issue. Uh,
V4, that's not an issue.
but again, I'm the blue potato. These four courses are going to be in my back
So
pocket
good.
when the guys come over. So
Yeah,
I'm really
they're so good.
yes. Das Verblassen. Here it
Oh,
is.
I cannot have I cannot say this enough. I love saying the
It
name of this course.
is the second best name behind Domaine La Forest.
Laflon. I can't pronounce
Look,
either of them, so I'm
and
not
you're
sure
not
which one I
drinking. You're
and
not
I'm not
drinking.
drinking. Um, this is fun.
You
Bare
talk.
bones.
I got to pour. You talk.
Okay, bare bones. I thought this was fun. I didn't know what to expect. I'll be honest with you. I fired this one up. I always it's a fictional course, okay, and so I don't know the background. Actually, I should have reached out to you to get some context. I don't know if you did or not, but I don't know. Did he take an
I,
existing course and tweak it, or
so
did he?
here's what I remember because he did post about this. He took lidar, I think, from a volcano in Mexico.
Nice,
Yes. And
nice, and then
then
he carved a course out of it.
initially when he built this, he was showing pictures of it. It was very dark. It was like
Yeah,
very
yeah,
gloomy, and he wanted
yeah.
to make it very scary and I forget. I'm trying to think of the right term, like dark.
Okay, got it.
But then he said he
He,
had problems with the lighting, which that would be very difficult to do,
sure,
frankly.
sure, sure.
And then he lightened it up and made it so now it's a little bit more, I would say, yeah, fantasy looking. Not as
Yeah.
I was looking for ominous was what
There you go. So good yardages, no slopes, obviously, because it's a fictional
yeah.
course.
One thing I would
I
ask though, bare bones, put a description in here
yep, same thing.
with the volcano issue and your inspiration here. And I think Das Verblassen you said means something else. I think it means like the edge or something like that, if I can remember. And change your image here to like put a volcano in there.
Something in there that
Because
represents
nothing
the
you have
course.
here makes me want to play this. Okay.
Right. And that was and I'll tell you, so go to the first shot
Yep.
because when I fired this up and you took these screenshots, but
Yeah.
I smiled. Like I was like, this is cool. Like I didn't know what I was getting into. Like the name, I like the name. All I can think of is like heavy metal, um, um, just really like you see like guitar like screaming in the background kind of thing, with the
Das
name and
Verblassen.
Oscar Blood, like I get it, and then and then I turned on, sorry, but I didn't know, and then I launched up the course and like it's cool, it's fun, it's unique, it's fantasy courses. I always like to me a really really well done, and I'm gonna juxtapose what I'm saying here. I think one of my favorite fantasy courses of all is Whispering Pines, right? It's just like
Yes.
Sting did such a great job on that course.
But
That is a course.
it's not quite fantasy though, because it is based on the Lie Driver
It is.
course. So
That is true, but I could correct, but I could still see that course in real life. Like I mean, in my mind, I could see that course in a North Carolina or in
yes.
different parts of the country. Like this is a fantasy course that
It's
you got to
to me
throw a volcano.
it's drawing the lines though on fantasy versus real, right?
I agree, and I like that.
Yeah.
I
I do like
appreciate that.
that.
I think,
Yep.
yeah, agreed.
So
So,
I
go ahead.
zoomed out So
Yeah,
you could see, because I want to look at the whole island. It is really cool what he did, which was he just kind of carved this into the
yeah.
side of a volcano. And I can appreciate this because when I built Glacier Golf, which is a fantasy
Mm.
course, I had to do something similar where I had to carve it into an existing, and it's not easy. So
It's you can really understand. You could relate to the terrain work that he had to do on this.
yes, I do
Yeah.
relate to the train work, and I find it was, if you've ever played, there's a miniature golf game on Oculus. If you have the, and it felt like when I was zoomed out like this, how you can kind of explore it and stuff. It was fun looking around to see what he did here. Really cool.
Really cool. Yeah. Love the lava. I'm assuming that's the nature manufacturer
He,
lava assets, and
and
he backported all of it.
yes, yeah. When I saw that that asset, I was like, oh, you could do some fun stuff with that. I'm glad
Yeah.
he ran with it for sure.
I will say one critique for me, and I played all 18 on all these courses, but is I there was too for me I there was too much ocean noise. Too much ocean of the ocean
You're right.
coming. Like I wanted lava like gloopy noise when I'm near the lava, and I wanted ocean when
Gloop,
I was little.
gloop,
Yeah,
gloop,
exactly. That's like
gloop,
near the
gloop.
water, like the lava waterfall. I want the lava gloopy noise. I
Yeah.
don't know what else to call it except gloopy noise.
He did have
Um,
some like black smoke coming
he
off the top. I think he could move that around a little bit more and do that particle effect
Yep.
like
And there was
more
some
black.
like sparks particle effect
Yes.
as well. Like I would like to see some more of that. Around performance was killer. I had no issue
Yeah.
performance
No,
wise.
you're right.
So yeah, I'd love to see some more of the little sparks and the little smoke and stuff. It was great.
Yeah, this to me was a good scene, kind of like looking out at the ocean. I don't know if he used Lux here or not. If not, man, look into Lux. It'll make the ocean look that much better if you don't
Yeah.
have it.
Or
Um,
yeah, the Infinite Ocean is great.
yeah.
Go if you go back one real quick, and then we'll go to this one because I added that slide in. The other thing too, and you can't see it in here, but there's ships that are moving around. I don't think we have a
Yes.
picture of. There's
I
ships
know.
moving around, okay, out in the ocean here, and like for me, like it was just a pleasant surprise. And I found myself when I got on, I think it was hole 3, and I'm looking at the ocean, and I can see the ships going by. I then started looking for Easter eggs on every hole. Like it's been
Yes.
a long time since I've been on a course where I'm like looking around on every single hole for what did he put, what did he hide here.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything else, so if there's more there, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I loaded this up for the guys on Thursday night when we played the par threes, because we do our league on Thursdays, and then afterwards we do a dollar, play the closest. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're playing Das Verblassen, and everyone was like, yes, that's the best name ever. And when the ships went by, everyone was like, oh, cool, it's Pirates of the Caribbean out there, right?
It was great. It's cool. The only thing is I captured this one as well on 14. Might want to change the hazard from as it lies since I was playing from inside the lava.
Yeah, but you had those special boots on though, right?
I did. I
Yeah,
did. It was water, but that's okay. The ocean sounds kept me cool when I was
yeah.
standing in the lava
But every time you play this course, you have to drink it with Maker's Mark.
with Mocker's Mark.
Yes. And then we
Really well
go to
done.
the third best name of any course, which is Luffenham
Luffen,
Heath.
oh my god, I cannot pronounce these courses.
And you're not
It
even
means
drinking.
it means I need to get out around and explore the world more, I guess.
So distances here, there is a little bit. I guess that's not too bad of a gap between yellows and greens. It's getting there, but
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway was actually a fairly short course. The longest
yeah,
tees were only 6,500 yards, and so
yeah,
compare that to TBC Colorado, which is 7,900 yards on the longer tees. So relatively short course,
yeah,
which is good.
yeah. So when I loaded this up, very green course. Okay, first of
Really
all, so
green.
I want to dial it back just a tad.
Yeah,
So this is hole number
yeah,
1. I always put the
yeah.
first hole in there to give you what that first impression. Custom tee markers, which is good.
Look great.
They're not different colors, which honestly is not that big of a deal. A lot of courses in real life don't have different numbers. I'm not sure if this is another tee that he's just not using. And a lot of courses do
Probably.
that. They rotate tees.
Yep.
Um, and then this is 2. The one thing, the critique I do have here is these areas with this grass. He's using the texture, this green texture that is the same on the rest of the course where there isn't green grass, and it just doesn't match. And
Yeah.
as a result, this heavy grass looks very patchy in there, and you can see here. And if I zoom in, this is what it looks like, and it's very contrasting. So I think I made a couple videos in this on my tutorials, which is when you have grass like this, two things. One is if you get the texture to match the grass, it looks fuller,
Yep.
and hence
Yep.
you can lower your density, and hence you increase performance. So you can plant
Yep.
things lighter but looks thicker, and it just blends better, and things don't stick out. So that contrast here is a little it's tough.
My
It's tough,
only
right?
my only thought, which is again equally can be remedied, is the way that grass is sitting. I'm not sure if that's VS Pro planted or Unity planted or manually planted in VS Pro. He could manually plant that grass the way some of the. So it could also be that he didn't spline that area as a deep rough. It's all one giant rough. So if he changed the texture, it
Hmm.
would change it everywhere. Which even then you need to go back and spline it as deep rough and put the right texture on it, just like we're saying.
Yeah.
You'd get a much more fuller. I agree, 100%.
Yep.
Looks
Um,
good though.
yeah, it does look good. And this was,
Dial the green back though, dude. It doesn't. Nothing has. Not everything has to be so green. That's my
yep.
only feedback on green. Like
It
we know
took,
we like to make things green, but
yeah. And this is just, I think there's a little bit of, not sure about the purple in those plants, and there's just a lot of color going here that tends to contrast and conflict a little bit. And what we're looking at here are some of the greens and tee boxes. I feel like the colors are a little flipped. And that normally, and I haven't played many UK courses, especially not ones called Luffenham Heath. Um, but uh, to me, the greens are the most watered part of any course, and they're going to be the greenest. If you're going to make anything green, make it your greens, and then have everything taper off and get brown as you go out. And so here, what you're seeing is a green that's very brown, and then the rough and everything around it is very green. It just doesn't. It seems like it's conflicting in my head. Something doesn't seem right. And then the bunkers, he did do some good shit. I think the bunkers
yeah,
has some good depth in here. Yeah.
bunkers look really good. And listen, don't take any of this as negative feedback. The
No.
course played really, really well. It's fun course to play. It has some shorter par fours. I was able to hit it pretty close in a couple of par fours. It's a fun course to play. Really well done. Found zero issues mechanically, like no mesh issues, no balls getting stuck, no wood, nothing like no collider issues. So it played really well. Some of this is just aesthetic, and then going to this green, um, you've got a really nice, I think, sat shader. I like you can see the mow lines on there as well, but you didn't do sat 3DG, and you can see the insert image we put on there is your 3D is the 3D grass that is all the same color. So if you need help or want to know how to do sat 3DG, let us know or reach out. But in the Discord or whatever, happy to give you the settings and show you how to do that. It's not hard to do since you're already doing it.
Yeah.
But it would also give you a different level of depth and texture on your fairways where you're using 3DG on your roughs. I mean,
Yeah, and I don't want to sound critical here, but I think you're close here. You just need some color
yep,
changes. Some color
yep,
changes. Really
yep.
close though.
It's good.
And then Loudon, Loudon,
Loudon,
Loudon,
Loudon
Loudon.
County.
Yeah,
Isn't that a show like Loudon County Sheriff or Loudon Downey?
I don't.
It's from a movie somewhere. I can't remember what that's from now.
Another shorter course, right?
Yeah, 62 is the short one on this. Wow.
Yeah, so this has to be a commission course from Run Pud Run.
From Run Put Run. That's my guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
pretty short
New
course.
Hampshire. Um, so yeah, I had to laugh when I saw this because so this is T1. I always put T box 1 because this is your first impression. So I'm going to skip over here to T box. I don't know what this. It's so narrow and has so many trees. Run when he's building this is going, motherfucker, I freaking hate these
Oh, I
courses.
think his hands are shaking. He's like, "Oh my god,
It-
I got to do this damn."
I went through every hole and I think I counted like 9 out of the 18 are freaking narrow as all hell. Like
Like
brutal.
I'm standing on this tee, chomping at the bit, hit a nice little draw up the right side, coming back to the left, and I can see Run over here going, "What the hell? These line courses? No, I mean I want white, So
Yeah.
because we know how much he loves playing these treed courses.
And as much as I like, rubbing run, rubbing run. That's funny. Uh,
Keep drinking.
I'll keep a drink. So here, man, fix your tees, man. Get those
Fix your tee
tees,
box, dude.
or I guess better, you might just need to widen that box altogether, right? Flatten and widen it out.
It almost looks like the box got covered somehow. Like the box shouldn't be that short because the box in front of it is got a third miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
I don't know.
And then I'm not sure if I'm 100%
Minor.
fan of the blue tees that he's got there. Maybe lighten the blue a little bit. I'm not sure.
I'm guessing the customer, whoever ordered it, said, "I like
Yeah,
blue."
yes, that's the problem. It's the thing is, it's why I like doing courses for myself because I'll make them
I
however you want. And guess what? If you disagree, I don't care.
yeah, my course.
But sorry, Ron, when you're doing for somebody else, I guess you're at their whim, right? And then
Yep.
here's another shot here. This is a cool looking hole. I like the bridge
Great.
over the water.
Yep.
Um, the only thing
Yep.
the 3DG, I'm not sure if the dark it's we got whiskers, right? We got the whisker look here. Uh, so the 3DG maybe just match it a little bit closer, but again, it could be the whoever commissioned the course. Maybe that's something that they're looking for, right?
Love the view though. Love the
Yeah,
bridge over the water there, and it's all matches
soft.
the terrain. And
It's
it's all
soft.
soft, and nothing is popping. We talked about that in the last couple episodes. There's nothing
Nothing
just like
stands out.
popping out. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
nothing
great.
stands out. Yep. Um,
Oh, I
but
love this.
this
Love this.
because he's not playing this course. He's not playing this. uh, might be one I load up for the guys sometime just to piss them off.
I may go down today and play this before my lesson
Yeah,
in the sim.
it looks challenging. It looks challenging for sure. Um, so I loaded this one up for two reasons. One is when the sun, and you use advanced lighting, depending where you have the sun, I just want you to notice how much it can change colors. So those are those blue tea markers I said earlier that I wasn't necessarily a fan of. Now they look purple. So if you're going to make those bold colors that are kind of unnatural for the
Yeah.
environment, make sure you know what they look like in different lighting settings. So here they almost look like a neon purple. And
I gotta tell you though, I'm curious. Let me ask you a question. I've run into issues with advanced lighting lately.
hmm,
I don't know if things have changed. So you and I found an issue on my TPC Colorado course. Remember,
oh,
we
the
thought it were
trees.
billboard issues on trees.
Yeah.
It was an advanced lighting issue.
Yep.
And I ended up deleting the advanced lighting file out and resetting it and not going. Like, it was like once it got extreme and then it came back, then it didn't lose it. I'm having the same issue with the trees in the course I'm building right now. I got the course about 85, 90% done. And I was in yesterday tweaking the advanced lighting. Next thing you know, everything got washed out and it would never come back.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe there's something going on with advanced lighting that is I don't know. Maybe
Did you switch
there's
back to standard, then back? Sometimes that fixes it.
I did, but it didn't fix it. I literally had to go in, delete the advanced lighting file out, reload it in standard, and then when I
Huh.
went to advanced lighting, it
Okay.
was back to the default. So there may be something going on with advanced
There
lighting
might be.
that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, but he can fix this easily if he just
yeah,
goes to Greenkeeper and moves this a couple feet over. That'll get this T
yep,
box or this T marker out of the rough here.
yep.
The one thing I did when on this hole when I was looking at this, I said the trees down here looked off because he had this kind of this hue, this reddish maroonish
Yeah,
color close, and then it stopped. And then I kind of backed up and I went far away and I realized his billboards were kind of off.
he needs
There's
some
one
tweaking.
tree in particular here that's got this light green, which is an off match, and you'll see if I go here, there's this line. So when you back up, trees start to billboard without getting into much detail. It's a billboard is a performance saver. It kind of makes them two dimensional at that point. So designers like don't like lift when you're designing your course, go up in the air, back away, and if you see this clear line that I see here, you need to start looking at those billboards, okay, and how they're rendered and adjust those colors. Start with the tint, start with the specular, and start taking a look at those. There were actually a couple other courses this week that we were looking at that we ended up not covering
Uh,
here, and a lot of them had billboard problems, and it makes me think that I need to go back into my videos and make almost just like a billboard correcting video. Hey guys, before you publish your course, you need to check your billboards, right? This was
yeah. Well,
something.
listen. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Now this was something to me when I first submitted my first couple courses that I built. Cook was all over, right? He would
Yeah.
come back and say, you got to fix the billboards, do this, and
Yep.
he's a very busy guy, right?
Yep.
SGT is taking all his time. He can't review all the courses anymore. You and I can't review all the courses. So looking at billboards, I can do a better job at creating better videos about it for the tutorials. But and what was you wanted to add something there? What was
Well,
it?
I was gonna say I would say that over the last 3 weeks of releases, I've seen. I know I'm not trying to be an old curmudgeon here, but there seem to be lots of courses released with lots of little things that should be fixed before they get released, like billboards, and we'll talk about some of that here coming up. We mentioned it before. Take your time. There's no need to rush it to release. There's no need get it played. If people haven't played it in the beta channel, ask them to play it. Post in there to play it. Like get people to
Yeah.
play and give you feedback on it. We'll talk a little bit more about that and some of the beta stuff
Yeah,
in a little bit
there's some
here.
changes coming. So this was another course. I can't remember which course this was. It was released this week as well. So as I was going through, and I noticed some of those same challenges, like when I was on
Billboarding in the
far
background.
away, there was something that wasn't right. So I went up, zoomed out, and if you look here, we have a wide range of colors going on here. So in the
Yep.
distance, and to me, there's also a little bit too much fog going on here, which maybe
Yep.
they did that to try to mask some of this. Not sure. Um, but you can see there's a patch of trees here,
Yep.
which are just way off, right? There's a tree type here, which is this one tree here, which is
Bright
really green.
green.
And you can see there's another one over here, which is bright green, which doesn't match these other ones.
Yep.
And then the hue here changes again here. So, and this isn't, I can't, this is a PowerPoint, it's a snapshot, but as I zoom in and out here, things are just popping, right? As they
Yeah.
change, and it's a little distracting. If you do flyovers, it's really bad, right? So
Nature doesn't work that way. Nature
no,
does not work in pops of color like that, or in big extremes of colors. Nature works in gradual
yeah,
blending. Even
except for
here in
fall,
Colorado, except well,
except
I
for
was gonna say,
fall.
but even here in Colorado, when the aspen leaves change, right, and they turn this dramatic, beautiful, bright yellow and orange, they all blend together still, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So this is another course, and and I'm sorry, Pud Run. This is another one of your courses. And this is where you have to be careful, because also don't look at it under advanced lighting and look at it under different directions. So here, this isn't too bad. Now you
Right.
can see, so the billboards are out here. They're a little bit bright to me. They should be toned down a little bit. But this course in general is really dark. I'm going to turn around in the next slide 180 degrees and look how much different that's the same course. All right. They go back and that is the same course. Look how much different those colors are. So now here you can see there's a big problem. So the billboards here, and you're seeing my mouse, this is why I have the mark around my mouse. Where this is going over here, this is where things switch from regular billboard. And you can see in this case, he's got a lot of red maroon hues here, but not away in the distance. So something happened where this tree here that's being billboarded isn't being billboarded far away. And here, when it billboards, it turns like pink. So in that case, we've got in the distance, because of the advanced lighting,
Yeah.
two completely different. So the billboard's off, and I think if you'd fix it, it would be okay in each, but it just shows you what that advanced lighting does, right?
Advanced lighting is also it's exaggerating it being off a little bit, it seems like.
Yeah. And I would say my other critique here would be just like the fog in the distance really kind of, and again, I'm up in the air, so you won't typically get this far up in the
Yep.
air when you're like some of the flyovers you might, but just again, it just goes back to the billboard. Um,
Well, we saw some more silliness this week. This may be a new segment. We need to get Steve to cue up like silliness music, and we'll have
yeah, we
a
could
new
have
segment of like we won't call the courses out or the
bloopers.
designers.
We call it
Yeah,
bloopers.
you'll recognize your own course on here if you stayed this long to see this part of the
Yeah.
videos. We won't call you out on
Um,
it, but
and in Mashie, we talked about this beforehand. We do not like guys put so much time in these courses, and we feel bad about being
yeah,
critiqued. I like to do rose and two thorns, which means hey, compliment, because there's so many good things about these courses.
yep.
But then you see this.
Fix the bridge. Just fix the damn bridge, okay? Take 5 seconds in Blender, tweak the bridge using the controls, and make the bridge line up to the cart path,
Yes.
please.
And your bridges don't need to be straight. They can curve. So you could make the bridge curve it to the left a little bit more, then wrap around and match on the other side. or change your
Correct.
cart path to match the
Change your
bridge.
elevation. You can make it a little
Yeah,
rise in the middle and down a little bit. Blender gives you so many tools to play with the bridge. Take
yeah,
5 minutes and make your bridge match, please.
yeah. I want to take a golf cart and like have it hung up on the side of here because the guy.
I just want to take a chainsaw and like
Yeah,
carve off the corner of
because
that and make it
because if the
match.
guy on the course is drinking too much Maker's Mark, he's going to drive right off the
He's gonna
side,
drive right over that.
and
Exactly.
that would
Yep.
be me. That guy. I'm that guy. uh, our buddy TJ Trout, who we played with this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted to throw this in here for TJ. Like we played this week and had a good time. We didn't play this course. We played a different course, another beta course, and just wanted to throw
underrated
this in here.
designer, underrated, quiet guy, right? He's a
Yeah,
quiet guy.
and I listen. Great distances, like long 7,000 all the way down to 5,000 for the forward tees,
Keep talking.
which I like.
Keep talking. I'm
Oh,
pouring.
you keep
I'm
drinking.
pouring.
It's all good. Good balance between distances. He's got all the slopes in there, like we've been harping on for a couple of weeks now. Good description. This course to me was one of those courses. Like, listen, take this TJ as a compliment. Okay, this is not your TBC Scottsdale Waste Management course that's getting played on this could be your backyard local course you go
Yeah.
play at. He just executed it really, really well, I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Well, you want to go to the next? Or yeah. So again, really nice sat shader, really nice blending of the trees. This was off the first tee, I think. Yeah, tee shot off the
Wait,
first
where
tee.
was this? Oh yes, Orange County.
It's in
So
Florida.
I did not look at the name of that or know where this is at, and I went in here and I said that looks like a swamp.
Like Florida. Yeah, it looks like a swamp.
So you
Yeah.
nailed it, TJ. I said that looks like a swamp, and I went back and it was Florida. I was like, well done,
Yep.
well
I
done.
looked for no billboarding of the trees. I mean, the billboarding of the trees all looked good. No issues there. His thank you for building a bridge and making it match your terrain and your cart path. So thank you. So we just had that conversation. So just it looked great. It looked good. Nice sat shader. You want to go on to the next one? We'll
Yeah,
go through this one fairly quickly. I
I know
pulled this one. I was thinking of you when I pulled this one. Do you know why?
because of reflections.
Because the reflections. I thought he did
I
a really
knew it.
nice job in
I
the
knew it.
reflections. Yep.
Yes,
Yep. Yep.
those are
I pulled this.
so hard. And you'll
Yeah.
see here. Well, go ahead. You finish because I know what the challenge here is. And
I know exactly where you're gonna
he
go.
did as good as he could do. I
Yep.
haven't seen it much better than this. So go ahead.
Yep. Agreed. No, I was gonna say great reflections. I love the way that the house is reflecting off the water, and you can see right there where it's off by about a half inch, and I don't know a better way to fix it. It's as close
The
as you're
reason
probably gonna
being
get.
is reflections will never look perfect from every place around the water. So you
Yep.
have to place them where the golfer is most likely going to be, line them up there, and then if they end up someplace else, so be it.
So
Right?
be it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you probably did this from one of the tee boxes. You can't get it much better than this. So
Correct. Nice job. Really well done.
yeah, I like it.
And then on the next one, I grabbed again. I love
You nailed it.
this
The reflections again.
custom assets. The reflections are great, but I think that's a custom clubhouse, and I don't remember that one from the clubhouse collection. I could be wrong,
And who
but
did it?
then
Did he do it? Is he doing blender work now?
I don't know, but I thought it was. I just love this look. Like it's a clean look coming up 18. You can see the mow lines in the fairway.
It
You can see the
looks like a
reflections off the
Florida
pond.
clubhouse, you
Yeah,
know.
the billboarding of the not the billboarding, sorry, the what do they call that? The wood around the edge of
Oh, the bulkhead.
the bulkhead. Thank you. The bulkhead around that bunker and going up to the clubhouse. It felt like it was a Florida
And
course,
he did
So
a bigger bulkhead by the
yeah,
clubhouse, didn't he? So he did
yeah.
two different bulkheads, and it looks like they actually come. Oh no,
They
that's
all
one
connect.
bulkhead, but he actually did a good job of making the height match the terrain.
It's one bulkhead all the way around. I flew all the way up there and looked at it. It's one big bulkhead all the way around, and it matches very, very well up that
Yeah,
terrain.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And then he even did
Oops.
behind it. If you look behind it, hard to see. If you fly up, I should take another picture. If you fly up and go back behind, there's everything. There's tennis courts, there's a basketball court, there's the cart barn, there's carts, there's cars in the parking lot. Like I think he's got more assets behind the behind the clubhouse here than he does out on the course. So just TJ really I was very pleasantly surprised. Don't mean you don't do good work. I think you do great work. I didn't know what to expect, right? And
I think
fired it
TJ's
up and
challenge is he's building which is great because he's passionate about it, and that's what I like to do. My first
Yeah.
courses were my local ones, right? And it's just
Yeah.
they're not the big names. They're just not the big names.
Yeah. He did great though.
Yeah, well
Nicely
done,
done, my friend.
well done, well done. So if you telling people what they should play this week, what would it be?
Oh, I've got one that just stood out for me this week. You want to guess which one?
Das Verblassen.
Das Verblassen is my pick of the week this week. It is one, I love saying it. I can't say it
Yeah,
enough. And two, it was one of those courses that it was just fun. Like I felt like I was in a volcano island playing this and listen, it's not an easy course. I'm gonna tell you, don't go and play this course thinking you're gonna
yeah,
score big
yeah,
or score low. There's some really I hit a really nice drive and it was sitting at the base of this hill that the only shot I could make for 200 and something yards was a 60-degree to get it up. I mean, it is not the most I mean, not accurate is the wrong word. It is like there are shots in there that are not real golf shots. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But it was just fun and it had Easter eggs all over the place and boats in the ocean and lava flowing by and smoke and sparks and it was just really fun.
Yep, I would agree, and I put my money where my mouth is because I actually played it Thursday night with the guys when I saw it for the par threes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was really thinking in my back mind, do I put TJ's in here as well? But TJ's, the only reason it came out this morning. I didn't really have a chance to really dig into it. It would be another one I think I would take a serious look at.
I was torn like when I was trying to make my decision this morning before we recorded this, I was neck and neck between Das Verblassen and TJ's, right?
Yeah.
TJ's is a better golf course. Let me put
Hmm.
it that way. TJ's is a course that I'm looking forward to teeing up and going and playing that course with shots over the water and like that. Das Verblassen was just a unique, I
Yes.
think a very
Yeah.
good addition to GSPro.
So I think if you're listening to this and you want to play a golf course this week, go play TJ's course. And if you're looking for something different, go play Das Verblassen. Right, bare
And
bones.
I want to give one honorable mention out too, because they're all good. Every course we played good. Run's course that we looked at was it played really well too. I mean, we critiqued some minor stuff, and he's one of the most
Yeah,
seasoned designers out there, and so minor stuff out there. The course itself played fantastic, tree line fairways and stuff like that.
yeah,
So
it looked hard.
another
No,
another
it doesn't
great
look
course
for
to
me.
play.
It's not my must play of the week though. Um, so switch it. We didn't have a guest this week, so we decided
Yeah,
that we're going to talk about a little bit about the beta process because I think there's some changes coming. Um,
there are.
And so let's talk about the challenge first. The challenge being is that if we go into the beta Discord, what do you think? Are there 20 sitting in there?
Can we back up even further?
Yeah, sure. Let's
The
back up.
the beta process, in my opinion, is a dumpster fire. And I don't mean that in any disrespect to anybody who's doing it. Okay. This has got nothing to do with anybody. But the process was for a long time, not the current process. The process was for a long time. I'm ready to put my course in. I drop it into a Discord. I hope some people play it and give me some feedback. I play it a bunch. And then when it's good, I send it over to submit it to Cook, and Cook gives feedback back to me. Your billboards suck. To me, it was always your billboards suck and your 3DG sucks. That was the feedback I got from him all the time. I learned how
Yeah,
to do billboards and 3DG from him.
yeah,
And as the number of designers grew and the number of courses grew, it just grew beyond that ability to do that. He can't look at every single course, and there's too many courses in the in the beta queue to go get looked at.
yep,
So we've been behind the scenes. Both Masta and I have been kind of channeling some info. We're not, let's say, doing the work, but to some of the folks behind the scenes in the SGT side of it, like or the OPCD side of it, like DPR and oh my God, Sting
Stinger eye.
Stinger Eye. Thank you. I'm not even drinking. Stinger Eye
Well,
and John
speaking
on
of,
on like because one of the things we don't want to see is we don't want to see people loading up courses and saying, "Wow, I don't like this course," or we don't want GSPro or SGT to start getting some.
we
Not that
do,
they're going
and we
to,
do
but we
not
do
want to
know.
discourage or frustrate people or give the impression that I'm not submitting it because I'm going to get ripped apart.
Correct.
And that's what
Yep.
I don't want this show to become either.
Correct. No, exactly. We're
So
having
I try
fun,
to
looking
make
at
it fun. I
courses.
try to make it fun.
Exactly.
Try to make it fun.
Yep. So the first stage of the new or updated beta process has already happened. You want to talk through what the changes that were made in the Discord, which I
Yeah, and
love these changes so
yeah, so
far.
the first thing is it used to be very informal and Mashie, are you seeing this on my screen, right? I
Yes,
brought
sir.
Discord, right?
Yes, sir. It is up. Yep.
Um, so first thing is if I go down here, there's a and keep in mind if you're an SGT guy and you're on the SGT Discord, which is this here, there's a whole different server for golf course design. So just keep that in mind. So there's a section underneath here called beta testing. And underneath the beta courses, they've made it a forum section, which is awesome because now when you
Yeah.
submit a course for beta, you get your own forum. And so you can see in here, each of these sections are its own beta. So let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh my gosh, we have more than
It's
20.
too many.
We
Yeah,
have at
there's
least
like 30 or
30.
40. Yeah.
So this is it keeps things. There were so many betas going on before. It was in one channel. Someone would post, it would get
Yep.
lost, and then next thing you know, it's 2 days later, and your beta course is gone.
Right.
It's way
You
up
couldn't get any feedback on it because it got
now.
off the front page.
So now we have these channels. So at least you can come down here and I can go all the way to the bottom. I can see the Eagle Creek from 96er was posted 6 days ago, and he hasn't had really any feedback yet. There's a couple pictures in here. So now as a designer, you can at least follow your feedback. And as someone who wants the beta test, you can at least come here and see which courses haven't got much feedback, right? So
Yep.
that's stage one, right?
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
So I do like that. So that is the next. So as if you're still listening, if you're still listening because we haven't annoyed you,
Run walked away like 20 minutes ago. He's like, screw you
right?
guys, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and people listening to this first time think I'm just this big old lush, right?
You're drinking for two, so
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting my rosy cheeks here. Look at that. Um, So the first thing is anybody can go in here and do beta testing. Okay, so
yeah.
go in there. The links to download the course are in each one of these channels. It's a really easy place where you can go glance over to see if there's anything. Um, the one thing I would highly recommend though to designers, when you post your beta course along with that link, put some screenshots in there.
Yeah.
Put some screenshots in there because there's a lot of people who like to play desert courses, who like to play mountain courses, certain styles of courses. And if they don't know what they're getting after, they might just skip over it based on the only thing you got going is your name.
Yep.
So put some screenshots. That way it goes into those channels. That's going to become very important moving on. So this is phase one.
Yep.
So Mashie, what's coming up? What are we doing?
So we're working as well on, let's just say, like a phase 2 and a phase 3. I don't think we've actually identified them as phase 2 and phase 3, but the phase 2 and phase 3. One aspect we're working on is a more formal way to submit your course for beta, where you'd go to a form, you'd fill out the form, you'd submit it, and you put your link to where
Keep
you're
talking.
saving
I
it.
need more ice.
Okay, go get some ice. And that way it will kind of automate the process of posting it into the Discord and making it easier for people to find the courses and play the courses. So that's kind of one of the phases we're looking at. And we're also looking at possibly putting together a list of I don't want to say criteria, but let's say recommendation, so that a new designer, before they go put something into beta, could even have a checklist to say, and this will be breaking down into two things. So the first thing, thank you for the mockers, Mark. The first area, one area would be around, like, let's say course functionality. Have you played through your course several times? Did the colliders work? Did the ball get stuck anywhere? Things like that. More mechanical, making sure that the functionality of the course works. Then another section would be around more aesthetics of the course. And we've talked about it a lot. Are your billboards? Did you tweak your billboards, right? And maybe there's an example of go up high and look back and make sure, and then we've got videos between Masta and John and DPR and Stinger Eye and a bunch of these guys. There's videos to do all this, so we can link videos if you don't know how to do your billboards. Or if your bridges aligned to your terrain? Is your inner terrain sticking through? Did you lower, so I think that we're working on at least some sort of document that a new designer could literally go, I did that, I did that, I did that. Okay, I've covered all of the stuff that's in this. So now I should just go stick it in beta.
But I think where we're going to need help, and when I say we're, the people that are going to approve or identify the courses that get into SGT,
yeah,
I do not have time to play through
every single course.
9, 10, 11, 12, probably even going to go up faster courses a week.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hoping to do is get the GSPro community, people listening to this podcast, people listening to on Facebook, to embrace the beta program. You don't need to go in there and be able to spot bad billboards. Just play it.
Just
Play it.
play it.
And if there are
Play the course and
problems,
give feedback.
and if hey, my ball did this, something funky happened here, that way I only have to go in, I can open up a course, I can go to T1, I can go to T5, 6, and if I see something that I don't like, I can, and
Yep.
but I do not have time to play through these
Yep.
courses every week. I'd love to, but
Yeah.
I,
But the ultimate goal,
I need more time to drink my Maker's Mark.
But the ultimate goal is, if you think about this, phase 1 is a much better organized system to have the betas listed and to get the feedback. Phase 2 would be making sure that we have the designers have kind of a feedback on what to look for, because a lot of folks are, I get to a point, I don't know, I'm done, I'm put it in. And then phase 3 would be how do you get it officially launched into GSPro or into the SGT server list? Because it's already gone through phase 1 and phase 2, so now you're ready, basically.
And
the goal is to set every single designer up for success and every single course to be really well done.
yeah, and I think what's really going to be cool as part of this, there's actually going to be a beta server, so you'll be able to put
Yes.
that into GSPro, and all the betas will load up in GSPro. They'll be identified, and then that way you can say, oh, I'm going to load up this one this week. But please, if you do that, we're asking you, we're pleading with you, we're begging with you, is to play it and come into the Discord and give feedback, because it's going to help the community.
Yeah.
Yep.
So essentially what we're talking about would be you would submit your course via form. It would add it to a special beta JSON. You can then add that server into your own GSPro. It will list all the beta courses inside of GSPro. It is separate from the GSPro list of courses, so you have to add the server. We're not messing at all with the GSPro course list at all. And then and they will actually be appended. The beginning of the course name is appended with the word beta in front of it, so it's clear and simple. This is a beta course, and play it.
Yeah.
And then it makes it easy to, you don't have to download it, you have to unzip it, you don't have to delete it, you don't have to do all that.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're working on to help simplify the beta process.
Yeah.
Not just the two of us, but there's a big group of folks behind the scenes.
And I think even longer term, we're trying to think about ways that we can classify courses. That what I don't want to do is, hey, if someone wants to build their own home course, and at least have it for everybody else to play, because maybe, I built Deer Valley in Pennsylvania here. I want others. It's not the best course ever. It was my first course. Have it in there as quote unquote a basic course, right? But at least have it differentiated from like a Whispering Pines, which is, to me, like a premier, like this is,
Premier
if you
signature
want to
type
show
course.
off your simulator when your buddies come over Thursday night, you load up a premier course. You don't load up Deer Valley, right? So I think that's kind of farther down the line. But those are the things we're working on, right?
Yeah, that's good. I think that's it.
Is that it?
Did we cover everything we're going to cover today?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
So you didn't get the drink. I did.
You did. I did not. I will later though.
Summer.
I tell you what. I'll send you a DM once I this evening when I pop a bottle, and I'll let you know what I'm drinking in the spirit of.
We'll put it in
later tonight.
We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show notes. I'll chime in the comments and be like, okay, 3 hours later, 4 hours later, I actually opened up a bottle of something, which I will. It is Saturday night after all. Good info. Great courses. Please don't take any feedback as negative. All feedback's positive. We're having fun. We're just trying to point out some areas.
Make everybody
make it all better.
Yeah.
All the courses are great. All the designers are great. Masta, you're great.
You are great too. I just become an asshole when I drink too much Maker's Mark.
Exactly, it's the Maker's Mark. And go play the must-play courses of the week.
Yeah, and have a fun Super Bowl. Even if your team's not in it, enjoy your Super Bowl. See everybody next week.
Have a great weekend. Have a great Super Bowl.
All right. Bye, everybody.